I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I want to say double honors to our apostles, to our elders, who are GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth sincerity. This is Robert Mott for the Nebraska camp. This is GMS, Amy Fort, Nebraska. But yeah, what I got up here is not what we're going to be going over. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I put it up here. I just had this up, so let's see here. I'm gonna go to Sirach real quick. And man, I do this 30 times. Alright, so we're gonna go to Sirach 30 and 14. Okay. It says, better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. All right. Health and a good state of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Okay. There's no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. All right. Death is better than a bitter life, or a continual sickness. Okay, now word continual sickness. Let's see here. All right, I get them mixed up, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. Let's see here. That's not yeah, Slakia. Continuous sickness goes back to chronic disease. There's acute disease and there's chronic disease. So an acute is more like a cough, or like he was saying, but chronic is something that is more lingering. Okay, a chronic inflammatory, yeah, it's a Crohn's. My bad. Chronic. All right. It says that chronic disease is a long-lasting condition that usually requires ongoing medical care. Chronic disease can't be cured, but they can often be controlled. You see, so a life of continual sickness. And common chronic diseases is cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, arthritis, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And the thing is like, and this is fair use, man. This is fair use. It's not, a lot of these things are bad life choices. But matter of fact, I'll just read actual information. All right. I read it before, but I'll read it again. The point is so that I don't get struck or anything with so-called medical misinformation, because they'll try to hit you any chance they get, you know. But going back, a book I once used for this edification of, health, going back to the NASM, okay? So I'm looking for, going over the body mass index and all that, trying to get straight to the point. But the point is cardiovascular. The cardiovascular system is the leading cause of a lot of deaths. Hypertension, high cholesterol, cancer, diabetes, respiratory disease, stress, okay, skeletal muscle. These are all important to hear, because the thing is, these are the leading causes of health problems, okay, and the leading cause of death in America. Not car crashes, not guns, but respiratory, okay, and the causes to them, those things is stress, diabetes, you know, things like that. All right. So once you go into that aspect, these you'll see one thing that is associated with them, which is exercise. And we ain't talking about you don't gotta be a triathlete, okay? You just gotta get up and move. All right. Sugars, salts, um, things of that nature. These things are one of the main culprits: cancer, sugars, heart disease, sugar and salts, not moving around. We ain't talking about lifting weights. We're talking about, walking, jogging, stroke, diabetes, same thing, arthritis, and that goes into inflammatory. That goes into your sugars and your salts. Your asthma. That goes into your sugars as well. Dealing with especially the bronchitis and all that. Again, that's me speculating, I say, so I don't get hit or anything. Okay, risk factors: smoking, poor nutrition, physical activity, and excessive alcohol use. All right, because alcohol is empty carbs. Okay, this is the thing: alcohol ain't nothing but sugar. All right, so you see alcohol use, and it's poison. You're poisoning yourself. Now, scriptures tell you can tell you about strong drink. Okay, matter of fact, let's get that. Okay. All right. So when you go into see here, I'm trying to find a precept that's more to the point I'm trying to use. Got this KJV, standard KJV. Let's see here. Slovakia, because I'm just looking up this. Okay, it's bouncing around. That's what it's doing. I'm glad I had to look at that. Wish it was in chronological order. I find it better. Slovakia. But there's a scripture. Because I don't want to get the condescending. Let me see. I'm gonna write it better. Strong drink. Hey, you loud, love. Yeah, Salakia, I went past it. It says Proverbs 31:6. It says, "Give strong drink to him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts." So, I wanted to bring this one out in particular because it's not, oh, see, it just says it is a bad thing. You definitely shouldn't drink. There's nothing wrong with drinking. Um, see here, but this is the problem. All right. 1 Corinthians 7:31, it says, "And they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away." Okay, meaning what? You can abuse this world. Okay, and the scriptures tell you, "Be not unsatiable upon anything, nor too dainty upon meats." The point is that too much of anything can mess you up, especially alcohol. Okay, but back to the point is that we're talking about is really going into the lie of propaganda that Esau has put out for us as health, and associating it with education and Esau's constant attacks. Okay, so it says chronic disease can be managed through behavior change, Yeah, the stress. All right, medical management. Nope. They're gonna put you on a bunch of pills. All right. Now you wanna ain't nothing wrong if you got something going on. You go to the doctors, and this is just me speaking as a man. Hint, hint. You go to the doctors and get a diagnostic, but you don't go in there and they tell you take this, that, and the third. Okay. It says monitoring for new problems. There you go. Yeah, monitoring for new problems. That's what we need to do. Self-care tasks. You know, let's get to that. All right. All right. So look it up. Let's see here. So we're gonna go into Salakia. I'm going to Sirach 14. They're not pulling up the Apocrypha, KJV Apocrypha. So I'll just do it this way. So it says, Sirach 14 and 5, it says, He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that is evil to himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. All right. And if he do it good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the least he will declare his wickedness. And it's pretty much a very selfish nature, selfish energy is wicked, man. All right. So when you sit and you don't have enough discipline to lay off the chips, you don't have enough discipline to get up and exercise, how can you tell someone else what they need to be doing? Health-wise, some people have discipline in other areas. Some people are more studious and things like that. Judge that you be not judged. So I'm not going to sit here and attach it to, okay, if you're not a healthy person, it means you're not a studious person. We're disciplined in certain areas within our lives, and coming from like the scriptures say, don't counsel with a coward in matters of war, with mercy as someone who has an evil eye, such on and so forth. So I say that to say, if somebody has that like mind of what you're trying to do, then it'd be good to listen to their counsel. All right. But if you're you can't be maliciously wicked and telling Jake that they shouldn't be sinning. Okay. You have to just keep it a bean, keep it a buck. All right. So going back to the point at hand, because there's a couple things I wanted to bring out. This main thing right here. Here we go. So I seen this article here. It says both pigs are raised under identical free-range conditions. The right was supplemented with some grain, corn-based, soy-based feed. The left was to forage naturally. Pretty much shows the benefits of grass-fed and finished no grain-fed meat. It should also give you some indication of what grain, soy, and corn does to your bodies. And you can see, look at that, man. The difference between corn. Now this is swine, okay? We get it. We don't mess with that. We don't touch it. But just showing the experience of feeding one pig grass and natural ingredients in the corn. Now the other thing I wanted to get that sparked my interest was, guess what? This is why I said schooling is related to it. So see here, 1980 versus, all right, because people are getting privy to it. They changed it, all right? They changed it. But if you look Remember they said soy and corn and all that. Look at the they're telling you the main thing, especially in the 1980s, the main thing you need to be eating was the messed up stuff. Really, this should be at the bottom. Okay? This should be at down here, and really all this should be at the top. Sugars and all that. It's what is it? Complex carbs. Okay? Can't really say if it's complex carbs or not. But try to find a better. Here we go. This is a really good example. Yeah, 1970s, you see the vegetables at the bottom, the meat. 1970s, the grain is at the bottom, the vegetables is in the middle, the meat is at the near top, and the sugars and saturated fats, they got the nerve to put avocado oil up there when avocado oil should be at the bottom. This is what we're saying. All right, 1970s, they'll have you take these carbs, and then in 2010s, they put the vegetables at the bottom, the meat and dairy, and then the sugars at the top, because we don't want to go too deep and get into this place to where we got teeth like this, so we ain't meant to eat meat, or women's breasts, and it's like, no, bro, nothing wrong with dairy. We drink dairy. Nothing wrong with avocado oils and things like that. We need it though, but see here, we didn't. So when you go into the ingredients of bread, I'm glad we got the picture up. Ingredients of bread, it got yeast, sugar, flour, water, salt, oil, things like that. It's a larger process, but see here, compared to the ingredients of sourdough, which is like you don't really need flour, it's really try to find a better example, because they got a hell of ingredients. Sourdough is really 3 ingredients, man. There's grains. Let's see here. It's a really small. Yeah, flour, water, and salt. That's it. Flour, water, and salt. It's these 3 ingredients. Really grains, not flour, but grains, water, and salt. All right, and that'll get you sourdough. Okay, but you don't want that flour, because again, that same flour could turn to a paste. All right, that same flour can turn to a paste. So like you see me getting, hey, we in the studies, gets it in. But there's a video that I wanted to look at. That's really Salakia, looking it up on my phone. So all right, fair use. See if I can find the exact video. Yeah, this video here, really good video, showing you how carbs.
Glucose, fructose, and galactose are all simple sugars. Link 2 of them together, and you've got a disaccharide: lactose, maltose, or sucrose.
So I'm gonna get
about a teaspoon goes up, but your digestive tract doesn't respond to all carbohydrates the same. Consider starch and fiber, both polysaccharides, both derived from plants, both composed of hundreds to thousands of monosaccharides joined together, but they're joined together differently, and that changes the effect they have on your body. In starches, which plants mostly store for energy in roots and seeds, glucose molecules are joined together by alpha linkages, most of which can be easily cleaved by enzymes in your digestive tract. But in fiber, the bonds between monosaccharide molecules are beta bonds, which your body can't break down. Fiber can also trap some starches, preventing them from being cleaved, resulting in something called resistant starch. So foods high in starch, like crackers and white bread, are digested easily, quickly releasing a whole bunch of glucose into your blood, exactly what would happen if you drank something high in glucose, like soda. These foods have a high glycemic index, the amount that a particular food raises the sugar level in your blood. Soda and white bread have a similar glycemic index because they have a similar effect on your blood sugar. But when you eat foods high in fiber, like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, those indigestible beta bonds slow the release of glucose into the blood. Those foods have a lower glycemic index, and foods like eggs, cheese, and meats have the lowest glycemic index.
So the point is that, these crackers, carbs, rice, bread, it releases sugar into your bloodstream really fast. So in a society where you're constantly eating the wrong things, for lack of better words, you're going to be putting yourself in a position to be storing fat unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? We eat rice with everything. You're talking about omega-3s and omega-5s and things like that. Meat, beef, regular beef is horrible type of omegas. You know what I'm saying? Because all that goes into your bloodstream turns into fat. But the point is that, okay, they're telling us to eat grains. Why are they doing that? Because once you go into schooling, the wiles of the devil, they use their propaganda, man. All right? We have to understand that there's a lot of propaganda, and this is a deep-rooted evil, okay? That it's a deep-rooted evil that's been embedded in us since we were children. And really, the schooling system, me speaking as a man, from what I've seen and read about it and experienced, it suppresses your spirit. Okay, it's a natural spirit suppressing program, and then you also go into movies. It's so pretty much I got this guy here you see in the screen to the right, John Taylor Gatto, wrote some books on as you see, Dumbing Us Down. He also Weapons of Mass Destruction, showing the evils of Esau. Okay, let me see here. Matter of fact, so I can close that tab, get the blue letter. All right. So, because this is the thing, we I don't know if I'm spelling it right. Of course, I definitely didn't spell that right. All right, so Ephesians. Just want to read it. I don't know why they do all this nowadays. It says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Okay, when you go into, I just want to see a couple words here, because at the end of the day, we're wrestling against authorities, we're wrestling against witchcraft, we're wrestling against laws and legislations. Okay, wrestling against again that predictive programming. We're wrestling against a lot of things. Within that, we go to principalities, begin origin, the person or thing that commences, the first person or thing in a series, the leader, all right, that by which anything begins to be, okay, and it's the image of the beast. That's, the principalities ultimately we're wrestling against. Okay, we wrestle against the powers, the beast itself. Power of choice, liberty of doing as one pleases, leave off permission, physical or mental power. Okay, we're wrestling against the beast and its image. Ultimately, the rulers, You know what I'm saying? Lord of the world, prince of this age, the devil and his demons. Okay? Uh, um, we're wrestling against these people, all right? And they're bringing what? They're the rulers of what? Darkness, all right? Of night, darkness, of dark eyesight or blindness, metaphor of ignorant respect of divine things and human duties, all right? We're wrestling against, to this day, as a king is, so is his people. People are wrestling with families. They're wrestling with the way of life in its essence. We're at war with ourselves on how to live. We're not living naturally, all right? And that's why I wanted to reference the education system, because this is where it stems from, through the Prussian school system, okay? Which was funded by, I believe, the Rockefellers or them of that nature, okay? It says, and the accompanying ungodliness and immorality, together with their consequent misery in hell. So, well, that is, because we're in hell now. Persons in whom darkness becomes visible and holds sway. Okay, so we're wrestling against more than what meets the eye. We're not wrestling against food. We're wrestling against people putting excess sugar in foods. Okay, and then when you're talking about something like a school system, the school system in itself will keep you unhealthy. High stress. Okay, that's tests. That's you're getting programmed with constant surveillance. Teachers, principals, you got your rules, the jail system, and it's no coincidence that school is similar to jail, okay? You got, your recess, you got your, but at the end of the day, even though you got recesses for that small amount of time, all right? And you pretty much are sitting, feeding these kids grains and sugars and fatty meats, and sitting them down in the class and putting high stress on them. That's that's leading you to bad health. That's a system to lead you to bad health. All right. Now these are some quotes that he said. He has a whole bunch of them, but I was trying to find the one how he associated the prison system and school, and showed how the high stress can cause you to be obese. Okay, and then tell you that obesity doesn't matter, all right, because they want you to be a consumer. They want to break you down in these school systems to make you a consumer. They don't want you innovative. They don't want you working, and that's why I said in the beginning of this lesson that I believe schooling suppresses the spirit, because it creates the schooling puts you in this place of wrong and right. You only could do wrong or right via through tests, via through answers, that there's only one way to get there, and that's through the teacher. All right, when there's many ways to get there, and I ain't talking about the Bible, we're talking about, because this is the thing, there's a balance to it as well. And I don't want to disassociate that with this lesson, because the balance is always what? That with the Bible's order, let everything be done decently and in order. So let's not forget that, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But then the spirit is more of creativity, because it says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I ain't gonna say the spirit, I would say rather faith, okay? Because now you're going off of nothing and believing that it's something, okay? So it's just like you got your rules, law, statutes, commandments, and you got faith, all right? But Esau created a system in where you just rely on the rules, the laws, all right? It's no different from the Pharisees. They couldn't understand Yahushua because he brought in the aspect of faith, which already really existed the whole time, all right? It says children learn what they live, all right? So this is talking about, just keep us in mind as adults, man, because children turn into adults. All right, it says children learn what they live. Put kids in a class and they will live out their lives in an invisible cage, isolated from their chance at community. Interrupt kids with bells and horns all the time, and they will learn that nothing is important, right? This is what's going on now. And we're finishing. How many people, the whole concept of church, you could just put your money in this basket and then you're out and then you're good. Like, you're supposed to endure unto the end and you shall be saved. Okay. So it creates this, I did my part type of mentality, and that's enough. It says ridicule them, right? And they will retreat from human association. All right. Shame them and they will find 100 ways to get even. The habits taught in large scale organizations are deadly, and that's why you do a crime, they put you on TV, they publicly shame you and slander you. Hey, China does it. All right. So this ain't nothing but now there's a shame. You sorrow to those into repentance, but they intent, just like in school, they give you bad grades. They put, the whole society, go to, the hood corner stores, got people stealing and shit and pictures, you know. So that shame, it creates a division, it creates a divide. All right. And what's the other one? Shame them, they'll find ways to get even. Not that one. Ridicule them, and they'll retreat as humans. So they'll divide, they'll separate themselves. All right. The next one I wanted to read says the lesson of report cards, grades, and tests is that children should not trust themselves, which is your spirit. Okay. Not saying the Lord talks to us. All right. Now he talks to us through other people as well, avenues through faith. You got to trust yourself. You really, and ultimately, we are a temple, so we're ultimately trusting Yahweh Shai or Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that's within us. All right? We are through the Holy Spirit. It says, should not trust themselves or their parents, but should instead rely on what? The evaluation of certified officials. People need to be told what they are worth. Okay? And this is the, see here, I added up on computer, man. Yeah. So where's my list at? Where's my list? Oh, I got it on here. Yeah. The periodic table, not the periodic table, but you get what I'm talking about. The food pyramid. Okay. All right, a food pyramid. All right. Yeah, so they told you FDA approved. Doctors say you should eat this. You know what I'm saying? And do a lot of nah, bro. And really, the thing is like I can't say which should go where, but the saturated fats, olive oil is actually should be here. It's an omega-3. It's way better than eating meats, But the salmon, not no shrimp, all right, fishes with scales, things like that. Your fatty omegas, you know what I'm saying? Your probiotics, your cheese, your meats, your pickled stuff, your sauerkrauts, things like that should be respected. Now the point is that you have all these things they'll tell you, but it really goes off your lifestyle. Because if you're a farmer, you should, grains wouldn't hurt you as much because you're working more. All right. But if you're living a sedentary lifestyle, which is another programming of Esau to destroy, because the thing is, if they destroy your body, your mind goes with it, because you can calcify your pineal gland, your focus, all kind of things. They linked sugar with Alzheimer's, man. All right. Yeah, I said it's nothing but sugar in the brain is allegedly spoken. All right. So let's see here. All right. So I'd rather get an article. Let's see here. Now this came out February. It says sitting is a new smoking, truly a silent killer. All right, because sitting. All right. Sitting is synonymous with a sedentary lifestyle. All right. and pictures help out a lot. So um, let's see, there we go. It says side effects of a sedentary lifestyle. It says poor circulation. When you sit a lot, the heart isn't given a chance to pump blood around the body efficiently, which allows waste products to build up and slow cell regeneration. Okay. Digestive issues. Sitting down compresses the abdominal and slows down digestion, which can cause constipation when stools become dry, hard, and difficult to pass. Poor mental health. Sitting down for extended periods of time can decrease a person's motivation and make it difficult for them to manage symptoms of anxiety or depression. Bone loss. When you sit, you stop loading your skeletal system with stimulus, which makes the bones weak and more prone to fractures. All right. If you don't move it, you'll lose it. Okay. Sedentary lifestyle, a lifestyle that involves little to no physical activity and a lot of sitting or laying down. And that's, the end of, man. Sit and lay down and eat all that food like that. They want you to. That's why they give you your favorite shows so you can binge watch. They give you this environment to where you're just sitting there and you're stressed out. News, this is bad, that's bad. You put on a TikTok or YouTube, and everybody's on Instagram showing you their best lifestyle and makes you depressed. So all this is a cycle of, bad health. It's just, it'll plug you into it. But again, that's why they, and so much flying through my mind to get it off. But when you think about I read this, I'm doing too much. It says, what causes a sedentary lifestyle? Work. Many jobs involve sitting at a desk for long periods of time. Security guards, even factories, you're just standing on your feet, just moving your arms. So it's like he's, best to, go on your walks and things like that. It's transportation. Many people commute by car, bus, or train, which involves sitting. You forget, just because you're going somewhere don't mean you working out. All right. That's the thing. You everybody, we all in cars. When we was young, we was all on bikes. All right. It says leisure. People often spend their leisure time sitting while watching TV, using a computer, or playing video games. Yep. So and all this stuff is just so much more rampant. You go from video games to the TV to phones, all in one whop. You could just be cycling through them, so your mind doesn't get a break. You know what I'm saying? So health risk of a sedentary lifestyle. It says heart disease, sedentary lifestyle can increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, mental health, cancer, dementia, related problems. What it says, sedentary lifestyle can increase your risk of dementia. This is them saying it, not me. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing that sitting down and eating sugars and fats are the same thing, and this is the thing that they're pushing, and it's the society that they've created where everybody got to sit down and do stuff. Sit your ass down. This is, like, nah, man, you got to use your body for what it's supposed to do, and that's to move and figure out things and solve things, and that's one of the things that they use. And another thing is creativity, the act of problem solving, because once you and that's what I wanted to say, is that once they break you down into a consumer through affliction and ridicule, because again, it says the lesson of report cards and tests is that the children should not trust themselves or their parents, but should instead rely on the evaluation of certified officials. People need to be told what they are worth. Okay, so you have a system that does that. All right, and that's teaching you this is what you should eat. This is, the new it thing. Doctors and such and such have said that you should do this. I've even heard that they said bacon is good on your. No, it's not. All right, because thus says the Lord, don't eat that. It's a bottom feeder. All right, it said don't be insatiable upon meats. The scriptures is all we need in order to be healthy. But guess what? Our people trust in science, falsely so called. All right, and science just means to know. Okay, so these people will do that, and then they will mass produce. That's what I want to say, through the Industrial Revolution and the most all the phases of the Industrial Revolution. When you start making things in mass, you have to sell it in mass, and you have to keep selling it in mass. That's why you get in new phones all the time. You don't need new phones. You don't need new shoes. You know, there's no shoe repair stores. There's no clothing repair stores, because we've been funneled into this place of being mass consumers and ultimately reliant on the government. Okay, and it's all through school and news and predictive programming. All right, and that's the point to the lesson, is that all this predictive programming is what get you in that place. All right, so like this is the thing I wanted to show, but we already kind of past that. But read this a little bit and then we'll close it out. It says, the obligation to amuse and instruct myself was entirely my own, and people who didn't know what they were know that were childish people, to be avoided if possible, certainly not to be trusted. And this is a very prevalent quote to today's society, with that Jabberwocky that came about and everybody was on lockdown. They didn't know how to amuse themselves or instruct themselves. They needed instruction. You know, you deal with that with, younger generation. They're always waiting on instructions because they don't know how to go off the spirit. Okay. I wish I could find it. I'm never able to find it because I you know what I'm saying? See, I don't know if I'm spelling his name right. They're yeah, I can't find it exactly. But the way that I believe it was Genghis Khan or Napoleon, because this goes into creative thinking. All right, Genghis Khan, I believe, he had a fast traveling army. Okay, and the reason why I brought up in his book, because this book references the point of it. This is why I heard the quote from. So you can go into that book if you can find it. You can find it. If you can't, you can't. So pretty much, Genghis Khan was known for moving fast, and the reason why he moved fast is because his generals knew what to do without having to consort with him, and they weren't out of order. So this gave Genghis Khan the ability. I think it was either him or Napoleon. Let me see here. I'm gonna look up Napoleon as well, because it's either them two. Yeah, they don't got it. But the point is that one of these two ancient rulers or ancient generals, they pretty much had an army of people, of generals or captains, however you put it within an order, that already was in league. That's just like us as bishops, brothers within this gospel, and then the elders. The elders shouldn't have to always keep coming down the pipe with commandments, and we're just waiting on. We're gonna do the same thing until they tell us to do something different. You know, I'm not saying to be out of order. Okay, so don't get that misconstrued. Okay, we do our lessons, we teach, but you're supposed to be like the Church of Berea and do extra digging. Or, if they tell you that the dragon, is Esau, and then you go into it and you find out why. All right, that's the thing. The head that was wounded unto death was healed. It was a rival of the Roman Empire. Then you go into Great Britain, Rome. Let me see the similarities between the two, and you start getting, and then you come to your own conclusion. All right. People do not know how to amuse or instruct themselves. All right. And Esau took that away through school. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord brought us out of that through the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why it's something that should be acknowledged is because we do have traumas that we deal with and things that we subliminally don't know that we've been programmed to do. All right, and we have to understand that. You know, like, girding up that loins like a man. The Lord wanted us to do that, but Esau puts things, certain type of estrogens in foods, fats. He plagues our minds. He put propaganda out there. He does all kind of things on top of you just doing man nature. You know what I'm saying? He'll have you raised up by your mother. He'll put certain saturated fats and things like that in foods. He'll pump propaganda telling you that you need to be more feminized, and now you got to gird up your loins like a man in the midst of that. Okay, and that's the thing, is that's the wiles of the devil that we're learning to fight against within that. So it's not just you rah-rah and being tough. You got to eat a certain way. You got to purposely stand on business a certain way, because this society will have you, and that's another thing with the school, and you'll get ostracized for thinking independently. You go in there and say a woman should be treated one way, and this whole society says another. If you say that out loud, it's a wrap for you, right? Amongst many other things, you know what I'm saying? Genders and all that. You'll be, but men stand on business, but men also know how to let things go. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of traits that are being warred against through Esau's propaganda to take us out of our natural state of being a man. Okay? And again, it's not just yelling and doing as many push-ups. There's a lot of thought process and warfare that's in different elements. Okay, so I'll get to the next two and then we'll cut it off after that. It says, that seemed crazy on the face of it, but slowly I began to realize that the bells and the confinement, the crazy sequences, the age segregation, the lack of privacy, the constant surveillance, okay, we're going through all this right now, and all the rest of natural curriculum of schooling were designed exactly as if someone had set out to prevent children from doing what? Learning how to think and act, and coax them into addiction and dependent behavior. Again, it causes addiction. There's a lot of addicts out here, whether you're an attention addict, you're a sugar addict, you're a drug addict. There's a lot of people that crave and they can't just sit and deal with themselves. All right, they have a dependent behavior. Again, that's why I said that 2020 situation revealed that a lot of people were panicking about going out to eat and going to concerts. Like, you can't sit there with your family and entertain them. Esau has stripped people of that to make you dependent on them for entertainment. The Coliseums and the concerts and the next movie that's coming out. Like, you can't get with your kids and go out in the backyard and play tag or something, or take your kids on a walk, or really chill with your kids. Your children really don't get a chance to get a relationship, a real social relationship with their parents. Okay, read this scripture real quick. So in Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So the social skills, the order, for men and women, that's why they want the man out the house. You dope them up on sugar. Their attention span is shorter. You give them YouTube shorts, and you give them Vines, you give them, all this stuff that just Esau has a hold of your child the bulk of the time. You know what I'm saying? From school to the phones, from the phones to the movies. You really don't have, if you think about it, have a large amount of time to your child, unless you're living in the ways that the Lord has set up, man. Like, women supposed to be keepers at home, raising the kids. That's supposed to be their teachers. And your kid will be just as successful as you are, if that makes sense. They can be more because they can go and get more, But it like if Yahweh father was a carpenter, he'd be a carpenter, and based off how good his father was, he can pass on his gifts to him, and that'll help him. But through mass production, they take away all the carpenters because they want to sell all the houses. They don't want you to build your house. They want to sell your house. All right. They don't want to have you have your own garden. They want to sell you the garden, be it through grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? So you put out the work you get. You know, and in this society, we live in a society where money has replaced a lot of that, and it puts people in a sense of power that they don't have. Because when that money goes, you're going to be totally dependent on the government, i.e. the MOTB, okay? And you're going to beg and plead because a lot of people don't know how to make shelters. They don't know how to grow things. They don't know how to cook, let alone grow stuff, okay? So we're in a society, it's all bad. 144, call all y'all about Shemel Shai. It says, good students wait for a teacher. This is the last quote I'm going to read, to tell them what to do. This is the most important lesson of them all. We must wait for other people better trained than ourselves to make the meanings of our lives. The experts make all the important choices. Only I, the teacher, can determine what my kids must study, or rather only the people who pay me can make those decisions, which I then enforce. You know what I'm saying? So it's just showing, like, because you're saying, like, ain't no bad teachers. There's bad teachers and there's good teachers. But at the end of the day, it's a system that's creating the mindset of the children, but this ain't really about children. This is just about how they're programming adults, because all of us were children at a point, and you're being programmed. Anything you can do, I can do better, and then feminism, and then you drugging up the food, hypermasculating the women with the it's a big cycle, and the one thing that stuck out is like, how much time do you really be having with your family? All right, and I'm not sitting here saying us Israelites need to be family men, but when you think about it, like you as a husband, you may be at work. All right, then you work for 10 hours, you get off. You got to eat, wind down. Like my day, I go from work from 6 a.m. Get off at 5. You get off at 5. By the time you get dressed, it's like 6 o'clock. You got to eat, watch TV, and there you go. There he got you right there. Watch TV, video game, or videos. We do our lessons, and that's a big gap of us not having time towards our children. You know what I'm saying? Whatever hobbies we have, our hobbies is the truth. All right, and the scriptures tell you, we have denied house and home, house and family. All right, and that's a process. But the point is that imagine you doing that, and then your woman doing that on the second half of the day. Who's raising your kids? The phone. It's the schooling, and then now they're learning what's good, what's the pleasant way, what's healthy. How do you deal and interact with people? And these people are horrible at that. All right. You didn't sit there, and the teachers can't teach, so they're depressed, So now they're teaching all your kids, pretty much. And then when you don't do anything right, they beat you with shame and rebuke, and that causes people to not be confident in themselves. A lot of people are not willing to go, step out on faith because of the schooling system. That's why I said it quenches your spirit, man. It crushes your ability to have faith. Because it's like, what if I'm wrong? It's so much permanent flow that comes with it. Your schooling follows you all into college and your life, man. And that's how Esau does it. Your criminal history follows you all the way through your life. But this is the same person that wants forgiveness from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And this is one of the main reasons why he'll never be forgiven, is how he's running the world, man. You sit here and being not forgiven to the whole entire world, but then we'll run up to the prophets and tell them that we are unmerciful and we're the problem with the world because we're unforgiving, or reading that the Lord is going to judge Esau for his actions, and they try to paint that as us being unforgiving and unmerciful. So yeah, man. This is all I wanted to read, man. I wanted to get this last scripture. All right. All right, so we're going to go into Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. We go to verse 30:1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." Okay? Because you're trusting in these scientists, you're trusting in these politicians, you're trusting in the idea, the shadow of Egypt in itself is, representative of the image, the democracy. You're trusting in what Egypt represents. You're trusting in, okay, let me eat like that we read on the periodic table. Down the grains, you supposed to eat the grains. You got people that really be arguing you down. All right, and they do that to this day with the information that they put on TV. They'll argue you down. They'll want to fight you behind what Esau said. All right, the color of the Lord, things of that nature, man. Like you really got to go to church, and the Lord don't deal with you enough, but He'll deal with you enough that you can shake and mutter stuff in the church. But you don't deal with you enough that you can sit there and read that Bible for yourself with the guidance of certain men and come to some conclusions. Okay? The Spirit ain't working with you if you can't operate in that light, man. All right? So, and that means you what? Trusting in Egypt and the shadow of it, man. You're trusting in the ability of this country to provide your food. You're trusting in these phones for your intelligence. All right? Such on and so forth, man. Egypt has got a hold of a lot of our people to not be able to go off the Spirit and go off of faith, man. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.